everybody, Jamie here again. We are going to talk about common mistakes with nutrition, right? So I have like 8 common mistakes that most people do make when starting to eating healthy and just kind of changing their nutrition. So number one of the biggest ones would be paying attention to calories and not food quality, right? So I have talked about this briefly before, but what it is if you're really just paying attention to the number of calories in something, right? If I give you an Oreo cookie and an avocado, I always do that, again, that comparison. The Oreo cookie is going to have less calories and the avocado will have more, about 3 times more. But again, the Oreo cookie has nothing in there that actually helps you out, right? So you really want to look at the nutrients in food and food that actually helps you in the long run, right? Instead of either damaging your body or just doing nothing, like neutral. So those are called empty calories, right? An Oreo cookie is empty calories, whereas the avocado is, again, full of vitamins, nutrients, and really good macronutrients as well. So you don't want to just look at the actual calories, right? You want to look at, just like we were talking about before, breaking down that the nutritional facts and just kind of looking for, again, things that have either more fiber, less sugar, and again, just kind of more vitamins, more minerals, and things like that. So that's really what you want to look for, right? So you don't want to just look at the calories. Again, that's one of the biggest mistakes. And again, number 2 would be over-consuming natural sugars. So a lot of people over-consume added sugars and sugars in general, right? So when you switch over to like, okay, in my coffee, maybe I'm going to put some natural honey. That's perfect, right? So that's natural sugar. Using that instead of added sugar is better, but it is still sugar, right? So it's not like, okay, if I switch over to honey, I can then eat unlimited amounts of honey. That is not how it works, right? It's still sugar. So that is a very common mistake that people will start overeating sugars, like natural sugars, right? So like dried fruits and things, right? So those are still pretty high in sugar, same with the honey and things like that. So just make sure that you just are eating the portions, right? Same as everything else, same as water, same as everything, right? It's possible to overdrink water, the same as it's possible to overeat some fruits as well as dried fruits and fruits. But again, still eat your fruits, just again, kind of just maintain the portions, especially with dried fruits and honeys and things that are just higher in sugars, right? Another one too would be under-eating proteins. So protein is very, very important. This kind of 2 sides of the spectrum of this. A lot of people think that you have to consume a lot of protein, just like athletes would consume a lot of protein. Again, they're working out for like 4 to 7 hours a day, so they do need to get some more protein, obviously, than, say, the average person. So with the average person, there's a lot of people who actually start to undereat protein, right? So if you're waking up and you're having like a bagel for breakfast, just a bagel, or even just a coffee, and then for lunch, you're just having like a sandwich, like a white sandwich, maybe peanut butter and jelly. Again, doesn't really give you, the peanut butter will give you some, but not very much. And then at nighttime, maybe you're having, I don't know, something small, like even with snacks and stuff, you're having granola bars and things like that. Things that, again, don't really give you that natural protein throughout the day. So a lot of people's protein levels are low in that sense. So just getting kind of protein up. Again, using beans, lentils, again, free-ranged animals, right? If you're going to grass-fed cows and things like that, which is better for everybody, right? So yeah, definitely eat your protein. Just check if you're getting that in, right? So just balanced meals, like we've talked about before, is really important. So just balancing out those meals is really important to do. Again, that will give you a balanced meal, right? So that's why you want to balance it out and use all the tools in your toolbox. So after this, avoiding all forms of fat would be the next one, right? So like, oh, fat is really bad because, again, it's fat, right? So fat turns into fat in my body. I'm going to avoid all fats. I'm going to get all fat-free stuff. So fat-free things, if you actually take the fat out of things, it tastes horrible. So what they do is they pump a lot of sugar within the product, right? So like fat-free yogurt, we talked about this before. Fat-free anything will just have a lot more sugar in it because it will not taste good if you take the fat out or just it tastes like nothing. So again, not avoiding all fat. Again, fat is really important, and we talked about that just a little while ago. So again, eating fat, it's really important. Try to eat things as natural as possible, right? And just, again, same as your your sugar, right? Things that have really high quantities of fats, like butter, right? Like butter, things like that. You just want to reduce the quantity. So like cheese, things like that. Again, cheese, size of your thumb. Butter, same thing. So any things that have high concentrations of fat, again, try to keep those low. Relying on supplements instead of food. This is actually quite a big one. So a lot of people think that if you have like your vitamins 3 times per day, I don't really have to focus on vegetables, or maybe you have like in your shake in the morning, you kind of put in a substitute or a supplement that would have all those vitamins and stuff in it. So your body will absorb some of those vitamins, but your body is actually designed to absorb it when it's eating it, right? Even like with, say like a smoothie, for example, right? The smoothie, if you're putting in things that you would eat normally in a smoothie, blending it up and drinking it, right? Our bodies aren't used to actually drinking that many calories or that much stuff in one thing. So eating something with a smoothie is very good, because when you actually start chewing, right? Normally you don't chew a smoothie. So when you start chewing, that actually wakes up your metabolism a lot more than just drinking. So that's what you really want to do. So you don't want to get just supplements from, like Vega One or those type of things where it's a protein shake with some vitamins in it. Again, you want to get it from the food itself, because your body will just be able to absorb a lot more, and it's going to be a cleaner, supplement or vitamin and mineral for your body, right? So you don't want to supplement things that you can get naturally, basically. So yeah, thinking that fresher is always better, that's a common mistake too. So if you want to get some fresh food, it would be good to get the fresh food, but you can still use frozen foods almost, again, hand in hand, right? So a lot of fresh, depending on, again, if you're growing it yourself, just make sure that you have soil that does have a lot of vitamins and stuff in it, right? Because the fruits actually get the vitamins from the soil, right? So depending on where they're grown, right? If you're not sure where, or if you're doing it yourself, just making sure that you actually have things where you can actually put in the vitamins and minerals within the soil, right? A nice good soil for that, and just making sure that, again, fresh fruits and stuff, if you're buying it from a market or something like that, just again, it's always good to research where your food does come from, but also you can be using the frozen foods as well. Frozen is really good. I use frozen vegetables all the time, just kind of quick and easy, and they're usually already cut up for you, right? To kind of cut out some of the prep work for yourself. And then one huge one, this is what I wanted to end on, is a lot of people think that, oh, I had one bad day, or oh, I had one bad meal, I cheated when it wasn't my cheat day, or even if you don't have a cheat day, right? Screw it, let's go for a week, right? So one bad meal is not the end of the road, right? It's not like, oh, let's give up now, I had one bad meal, or I had one bad day. So if you do more good than bad, you're already ahead of the game. So if you have, even if you want to give yourself like the weekend, a lot of people do, give yourself the weekend to just kind of go out a little bit, but then again, on Monday, come back to it, right? That's a good way to start with it. And then maybe Saturday, oh, okay, I don't want to cheat, or I don't want to have a bad meal, I want a good meal, and I want to be healthy through the weekend, then do that, right? So again, if you're having a bad weekend, or if you have a bad day, it doesn't mean that the next week or month or year or 2 years is going to be bad. It just means that one meal was bad, right? Every day we can reset. So every breakfast you can always reset. So yeah, just again, don't be too hard on yourself. It is a learning curve, right? It's just like 1%, right? If you get 1% better every day, at the end of the year, you're 365% better. So yeah, kind of just stick with it. And if you just had a bad day or a bad meal, don't worry too much about it. Again, there's a new day tomorrow. So yeah, that's what I want to talk to you guys today about. I hope that you guys enjoyed it. If you have any questions, let me know. Send me a message. All right, thanks. Bye.